Hello everyone, it's Shel from Paper Octio Studio, and today I have index card a day challenge days 24, 25, and 26. So if you watched my recent pick a stick challenge video, one of the prompts was to use crayon resist, and if you watched that video you saw that it doesn't work very well with acrylic. Our prompt actually said with acrylic, so I had to use acrylic, but I know that it wasn't going to work, and I tried to water down my acrylic. It just doesn't work because acrylic has polymers in it and it's designed to stick to stuff. And so it doesn't exactly stick to crayon, but it tries. So today on this ICAD, I'm going to show you how crayon resist actually works. And I've drawn a snarky bunny. If you have watched my videos and you've been part of my channel for a while, you know that I have a relationship with snarky bunnies that live in my backyard, and they are snarky. They claim that the entire backyard should be their dinner, and I say no, it should not. And so we just go round and round about that. So I do occasionally, those snarky bunnies, they come into the artwork, and today is no exception. I drew my snarky bunny with my pencil and then erased most of it so that it was very light. And then I went over it with a white Crayola crayon, just a plain old waxy Crayola crayon. And here comes the magic. When you use watercolor on it, or any water soluble media that's not, not acrylic, but actually watercolor, look what happens. When you go over it, the color is resisted by the crayon. And that's the magic. That's what crayons resist is supposed to be. So on my challenge page, totally did not work. But on this, it really does. And the index card paper, I mean, you guys all have index cards. You know that it's very absorbent paper. It's a thin, porous paper. And so it's just sucking in that pigment. And then the places where the waxy crayon has gone over the paper, it's sealed it in, sealed the pores of the paper with wax. And that's the reason that it works. So I started with blue and I went around the sky portions behind the bunny, and you can see that my little grassy stalks are white sticking up in the back, and then of course the bunny outline is in white. And I went in with the blue and did some shadows, and now I'm just starting to build color using different browns. First kind of a yellowy ochre color and then more of a sienna. And then I'm going to really do like a red ochre type color in a minute. Just building it up, and every place that I put the crayon part is resisting the watercolor just perfectly. So it's actually a really fun technique. You can do it with kids, with just kids watercolors and kids crayons, and they'll have a great time, watching their drawing up here if they've, because when you draw it in white crayon, it's hard to see on the paper, on a white paper. And then when you go over it with your watercolor, it's like, oh, it's magic. It's magic. So kids would really love this. They would have a great time. And these are my koi watercolors that are in a travel pack. And I do wet them before I start using them with a little bit of a spray mist. And then I'm using a water barrel brush, which has a synthetic bristle, and then it has water up in the barrel of it that comes out as I'm using it. And I use these for practically everything. I mean, I do have other brushes, obviously, but these are great for so many things, especially blending with any type of acrylic blending with watercolor or vice versa. So I do use it for that a lot. So the snarky bunny's coming to life, and he's snarky. It's like, this is my grass, and it's not your grass, and you do not own it, and I'm going to eat it. So now I've got my Posca pen, and somebody was asking me about Posca pens. These appear to have an acrylic in them. They write over everything. These are great, great pens. If you are looking for a pen that will write over anything, get the Poscas. You can get them on Amazon, and they're made by Uni, and there's fine tip and medium tip. They come in different colors. I buy the fine tip white and the fine tip medium on Amazon in a 3-pack or a 2-pack, and then I have a pack of like 12 different colors, and they're all medium tips. And these will just write all over the top of your acrylic, on the top of your collage, whatever, and they're very opaque. They're not translucent, they're opaque. So the line that you're writing is actually going to show up. So to finish off my bunny, after I made his little face with the Posca and then I did a few little highlights with the white Posca, I've got Tim Holtz's little stickers with words, and it says, "Here comes Peter Cottontail." And that's just to finish it off. I know it's not Easter, but it seemed appropriate. And I'm just going to go around that with my light blue Posca just to kind of define the edges and kind of blend it into the background a little bit. And then I think that's about it. Yep, that's it for this one. So there's Mr. Cottontail hopping down the bunny trail. Okay, for day 25, I needed to make something really quickly because I had too many things to do and I couldn't spend a lot of time. So the other day I printed out some of these little sayings off the internet, just searching images. I think these are probably pinned on my quotes to live by board on my Pinterest. When I see a cute quote that I might want to use on an art journal page or something when I'm looking at Pinterest, I pin it to that board. So you might want to check that out if you are looking for quotes. I'm not sure how many are in there or what the quality is because I don't pay that much attention to my Pinterest. I just pin stuff. I just, it's usually when I'm sitting on the couch hanging out and I just pin stuff. So yeah, I need to go in there and probably like sort better and organize better, but who knows? Maybe that'll happen someday. So these are my Bombay inks, which are an India ink, and they can be used like a watercolor. And again, I'm using my water barrel brush, and I'm just coloring on over this jelly print. If you watched the previous, I think it's the one right before this, ICAD video, and I did some jelly printing with my 3x5 jelly plate onto index cards, messing around. That's one of them, and I'm just doing some exclusion. I've drawn with my Posca pen a little big petal flower, and then I'm going around with this darker pink to exclude the background, and then also I colored the center with the yellow and orange inks. And then I'm going to use the orange ink to add some like little petally detailed thingamabobbers. I don't know what they are. There's probably a technical name for that too, but I don't know it. And then maybe just a little bit more definition on the petals, just to make a pretty flower on this card. Very quick, very, very quick. And then this little saying, at the beginning I sealed it by just using my 2-inch brayer and some matte medium and rolling over it and letting it dry. Then I've cut out some of the pieces. I didn't cut the whole quote out. I just wanted only a few pieces of it synthesized down to what I wanted to say instead of the whole flowery quote. So I'm gluing that on with matte medium, and then it will be there. It will say what I want to say. The rest of the pieces I'll save because there was a couple like standalone words like beautiful that I could use on something else. So I threw them in my box of things that live on my desk. Sometimes I make tags out of those. I have a series. Then these are my Japanese water brush markers that have the color inside with the synthetic brush like a water barrel brush. I can't pronounce what they're called, so I don't. But if you really need to know, just leave me a comment and I'll give you a link to them. And I'm using these because I didn't want anything that was opaque. I just wanted something transparent to go over the letters and add a little bit of color. And that's it for this one. That's day 25. So, day 26. I had a dream. When I was a teenager, my mom was thinking about buying me a Volkswagen Bug that somebody was selling, like, one of those vintage Volkswagen Bugs, and it was bright yellow, and I wanted it, but I didn't get it together quick enough, and they sold it to someone else, so I didn't get it. And I was having a dream about the Volkswagen Bug, and I think what sparked it actually, um, for Index Card a Day Challenge, DaisyYellowArt does the challenge, and they have a list of prompts. And the other day on Facebook, I saw the prompt 1960, and a lot of the people were making flower child things and, like, bell bottoms and hippie chick stuff and whatever. And I think that's what, like, got stuck in my head that probably inspired this card. I'm not sure, because I can't imagine why I was dreaming about that. Or, this is my dream coming to life right here. This is what I dreamed. So once you see what happens to this, you will know what I was dreaming about. It was an interesting dream. I guess I dreamed I was a hippie. I don't know exactly, but definitely this card came from a dream. I do these cards in the morning early, right after I get up. And so if I'm thinking about something or dreaming about something, it usually comes out on the card. So now I have my Neocolor 2 water-soluble crayons. I love these. These are awesome. I just haven't been using them very often on the cards for some reason. I don't know why, but I do love them. They are probably my favorite thing that I own, and I wish that I had a bigger set with more colors. We were just talking about that with my friends in the hangout. I was like, need more of those, more colors. And my friend who lives in Canada, she has a drafting supply store that sells them individually, and you can just, like, go and pick the colors that you want. And so I tried to find that here in my town, and I could not find a store that sold them individually, but that would be awesome. She gets, like, they come out with new sets, like, oh, here's the spring colors or whatever, and she can get, like, the spring colors, and I can't. I'm whining. I'm very much whining. But I'm using these to color in everything just very quickly and scratchily and scribbly. And my Volkswagen Bug has flowers all over it and hearts because it's a love bug. And had I got that car, that's what I would have done to it. I would have painted flowers all over it and hearts. It would have been super cool. Didn't happen. That was another lifetime. Too bad. So sad. Okay, now I have got my water barrel brush again. I think I used it on every project in this set for sure. And then I just put a little white acrylic on my palette and watered it down, and I'm using that with my water in the brush to activate all this crayon. And the reason that I do this is because it kind of seals it in. It makes it more creamy. I just really like doing it. I mean, I can't explain exactly why I do it. I just do. I definitely do it on faces because I like to use Neocolor 2s to color faces, and it works really great for that. But that's what I'm doing. Just activating all the colors. If you're enjoying this video, please like it, subscribe to my channel, leave me a comment so I know you were here, and share it on Pinterest or Facebook or something if you want to. All those things help me because it helps YouTube understand that you like something that I made, and they might recommend it to someone else. So that's really awesome if you do that. And yeah, my car is pink in the background, in case you couldn't tell. The car that my mom wanted to buy me was actually bright yellow, but I wanted a more light color for the background because I wanted the flowers to stand out. Sorry. Had to yawn. So anyway, I'm just blending and blending and blending and blending again. Not much to say about that. I think you can see what I'm doing. But I do recommend these Neocolor 2s. They're very soft and creamy and um, different than gelatos or the Ranger crayons. Very highly pigmented. They have a lot of color in them. Easy to use and a lot of fun. And they're not paying me to say that. I wish they would. So once I have everything blended, then I'm going back in again with a darker color and just adding a little bit more dimension to my flowers and hearts and things. Blue over the purple. Worked out really well, actually. I did have a darker pink to go over the other magenta color, so that was good. But yeah, I don't have a lot to say. I told you about my dream. I told you about the Snarky bunnies. Told you about my quotes on the Pinterest. Yeah, I don't have much to say. I probably should just stop and play some music. I don't know. Okay, once I was finished blending everything in, and now I'm just like touching up a little bit, then I'm going to use my white Posca pen to add highlights to everything, like I do. My little sketchy, quick highlights, I guess you're calling them. It just makes everything come forward in the composition when you do that. It makes a huge difference, and it's a very quick little thing you can do very easily with these pens because they write over anything and they're opaque. So it works great. It's kind of hard to see in the video, but you'll be able to see it in the close-up. I promise. Cross my heart. Then I think I get out the watering can. Yep, watering can colored archival ink to do the edges. And this card is done. So that's it for me. Thanks. Bye-bye.